There are rare moments in televised talent shows when everything expected by the audience is completely overturned and a performer appears who seems to carry something far beyond technique or training. Lucy Thomas's first appearance on The Voice Kids UK in 2018 was one of those moments. A quiet teenager from Wigan stepped into the spotlight carrying no sense of spectacle, no dramatic introduction, and no attempt to impress beyond the simple act of singing. What followed felt almost suspended in time. Her performance of Moon River did not rely on vocal power or flashy arrangement, but instead unfolded with a softness that immediately captured attention. The studio atmosphere shifted as judges turned their chairs, visibly surprised by the emotional clarity of her voice. It was not just that she sang well, but that she seemed to understand the emotional weight of the song in a way unexpected from someone so young. The audience reaction reflected disbelief more than excitement, as if they were witnessing something fragile yet extraordinary. Clips of her audition quickly spread online, where viewers described it as haunting, pure, and unusually mature. This moment marked the beginning of public fascination with Lucy, framing her as a rare talent whose presence felt almost unreal. Yet beneath the instant recognition was still a teenager stepping into a world she could not fully understand, beginning a journey that would soon test not only her voice, but her sense of identity and emotional endurance. The early journey through competition and emotional discovery. Following her standout audition, Lucy Thomas entered the structured and highly competitive environment of The Voice Kids UK, where every performance became a test of consistency as much as talent. She chose to join Danny Jones's team, drawn to his calm mentorship style and his emphasis on emotional authenticity rather than vocal exaggeration. From the beginning, Lucy approached rehearsals with unusual discipline for her age. She was attentive, methodical, and deeply focused on improving subtle aspects of her technique, such as breath control and phrasing. While other contestants often leaned into theatrical performance, Lucy gravitated toward emotional restraint, believing that sincerity mattered more than volume. Her battle round performance demonstrated this approach clearly, as she delivered a controlled yet expressive interpretation that stood out for its emotional intelligence rather than its intensity. Behind the scenes, she maintained a quiet presence, treating the experience with humility and seriousness. Producers and crew members later noted her respectful demeanor and lack of desire for attention, which made her stand out even off stage. As she progressed into the semi-finals, the pressure naturally increased, but she remained composed, focusing more on personal growth than competition. When she was eliminated before the final, the reaction from viewers was one of collective disappointment rather than judgment. It was clear that her journey had already left an impression beyond the outcome. That moment marked a transition point, where the competition ended but a much larger personal and artistic journey quietly began, returning home and the unexpected weight of recognition. After her television appearance, Lucy Thomas returned to Wigan expecting a return to normal teenage life, but the reality she encountered was far more complex. Overnight recognition had transformed her from a local schoolgirl into a widely discussed young talent. Messages of admiration flooded her family's home, while social media platforms filled with comparisons to established vocalists and praise that often placed expectations far beyond her age. At school, she experienced a strange duality, moments of celebration from teachers and peers, alongside quiet scrutiny from those unsure how to treat her new identity. Her mother became a stabilizing force, helping manage public attention and shielding her from overwhelming media exposure. Despite this support, Lucy soon discovered that the most difficult challenge was not performing on stage, but living up to the version of herself that audiences had created. She later reflected that people expected perfection from her because of what they had seen on television, while she still felt like someone learning and growing. Invitations to perform and appear at events arrived frequently, but she declined many of them, choosing instead to focus on vocal training and personal development. This decision puzzled some observers who expected rapid career expansion. However, behind this quiet withdrawal was a young artist attempting to understand the boundaries between public expectation and personal identity. Fame had arrived early, but she was still learning how to exist within it without losing herself. learning silence, discipline, and emotional protection. As public attention gradually settled into a background presence in her life, Lucy Thomas entered a quieter phase that would later prove essential to her development. Rather than chasing immediate opportunities, she chose to step back from the spotlight and focus on strengthening her vocal abilities in a controlled and private environment. This period was not marked by inactivity but by deliberate practice and introspection. She studied music theory more deeply, worked on refining her vocal control, and began to understand how to protect her voice physically and emotionally. At the same time, she became increasingly aware of the pressures that online visibility brought, where every small action could be interpreted, praised, or criticized by strangers. This constant observation created a sense of caution, making her hesitant to share personal content publicly. In interviews, she later explained that she often felt pressured to maintain an image of perfection that did not reflect her real experience. During this time, songwriting became an important outlet. She began writing private lyrics in journals, exploring themes of uncertainty, resilience, and self-definition. These writings were not intended for performance but served as a personal space for emotional processing. Her family played a crucial role in maintaining stability, especially her sister Martha, who shared music with her in informal settings at home. These moments of quiet collaboration helped restore a sense of normality. This phase of silence, rather than being a withdrawal from music, became a foundation for deeper artistic maturity. The first professional recordings and artistic independence. By 2019, Lucy Thomas began transitioning from television contestant to recording artist, marking a significant shift in her musical journey. Her debut album Premiere, released through Cavendish Records, reflected a carefully guided introduction to professional music production. The label provided her with an environment that prioritized artistic control and vocal authenticity rather than commercial pressure. Recorded in Manchester with a small production team, the album featured interpretations of well-known songs reimagined through her understated vocal style. Rather than attempting dramatic reinvention, Lucy focused on emotional clarity and simplicity. Her approach emphasized restraint, allowing the lyrics and melody to carry meaning without unnecessary embellishment. The album received positive attention within classical crossover circles, with critics noting the sincerity and emotional maturity in her delivery. While it did not aim for mainstream chart dominance, it performed strongly within its niche, establishing her as a credible emerging artist. More importantly, the recording process became an educational experience. She learned how studio environments function, how layering and mixing affect vocal tone, and how subtle adjustments can influence emotional impact. This hands-on learning process contributed significantly to her artistic independence. Instead of relying solely on natural talent, she began building technical understanding and discipline. This period marked the beginning of her transformation from gifted vocalist to fully engaged musical artist, shaping the foundation of her future work. Growth during isolation, and the rise of a digital audience. The release of her second album, Encore, in 2020 coincided with a global period of uncertainty, where the music industry faced unprecedented disruption. While many artists were unable to perform or record in traditional studios, Lucy Thomas adapted by continuing her work from home with her family's support. This environment, though limited in resources, allowed her to focus deeply on interpretation and emotional delivery. One of the most significant outcomes from this period was her rendition of Hallelujah, which gained widespread attention online. The performance resonated with audiences due to its simplicity and emotional sincerity, spreading rapidly across digital platforms. Listeners described it as deeply moving, often associating it with comfort during a time of global instability. The success of this recording demonstrated the growing importance of online platforms in shaping modern musical careers. However, the increased attention also introduced new challenges. The physical demands of frequent recording sessions in a home environment began to strain her voice. Combined with her natural perfectionism, this led her to push beyond safe limits in pursuit of ideal performances. While she remained dedicated to improving her craft, she was also unknowingly approaching a point of vocal exhaustion. Despite these challenges, the period reinforced her connection with a global audience and established her as a distinctive voice in digital music culture, even as she faced internal artistic pressures. Artistic maturity and the strain behind perfection. By the time Lucy Thomas worked on her third album, Timeless, her music reflected a noticeable evolution in emotional depth and interpretive maturity. The songs chosen for this project leaned toward introspective and emotionally complex themes, allowing her to explore vulnerability more openly. Her performances were increasingly described as mature beyond her years, with listeners noting a sense of lived experience embedded in her voice. However, beneath this artistic growth was a growing physical and emotional strain. The demands of continuous recording, combined with her internal drive for perfection, began to impact her vocal health. She often extended recording sessions late into the night, repeating takes in pursuit of subtle improvements that others might not have considered necessary. This self-imposed pressure gradually accumulated, affecting her vocal comfort and endurance. Despite these challenges, she remained committed to maintaining high artistic standards, viewing each project as an opportunity to refine her identity as a singer. The success of Timeless masked the underlying strain, as audiences continued to respond positively to her emotional delivery. Yet for Lucy, the experience marked a turning point where passion and pressure began to overlap. The voice that had once felt effortless was now something she had to carefully manage. This period represented both artistic achievement and the beginning of a deeper struggle with sustainability in performance. A voice tested and the beginning of recovery. Following the intense period surrounding her earlier recordings, Lucy Thomas entered a phase of reflection and gradual recovery. Her later work, including the album Destiny and the widely recognized Beyond, demonstrated both artistic maturity and personal resilience. These projects highlighted her ability to interpret emotionally complex material with clarity and restraint, solidifying her reputation within the classical crossover genre. Her collaboration with her sister Martha added another dimension to her work, introducing harmonies that reflected familial connection and emotional grounding. Their duet performances gained significant online traction, resonating with audiences who appreciated the authenticity of their connection. However, despite professional success, Lucy remained largely private, choosing to let her music speak for itself rather than engaging heavily in public promotion. During this time, she began exploring live performance opportunities, including her West End debut in the musical Rosie. This experience marked a significant shift, requiring her to perform in front of large audiences in a structured theatrical environment. The pressure of live stage performance introduced new challenges, including stage anxiety and physical demands. Yet she approached this opportunity with determination, viewing it as a necessary step in her artistic evolution. The experience ultimately reinforced her resilience, proving that she could adapt beyond studio recording into live performance spaces. Identity, responsibility, and life beyond the spotlight. As Lucy Thomas transitioned into adulthood, her career evolved into a balance between artistic expression and personal responsibility. Unlike many performers who pursue constant visibility, she maintained a deliberate focus on privacy and creative control. Her involvement in initiatives supporting young people, particularly those addressing emotional well-being and bullying, reflected a growing awareness of her influence beyond music. Through these efforts, she began to use her experiences as a form of encouragement for others facing pressure or self-doubt. Despite her growing success, she consistently avoided the traditional structures of celebrity culture, preferring a quieter lifestyle rooted in family and personal stability. Her continued presence on digital platforms remained centered on music rather than personal exposure, reinforcing her identity as an artist rather than a public figure. Financially and professionally, she achieved steady growth, but her emphasis remained on long-term sustainability rather than rapid expansion. This approach distinguished her from many peers in the industry, highlighting a conscious effort to maintain balance between career and well-being. Her journey reflects a broader theme of choosing direction over visibility, suggesting that success can exist without constant public validation. In doing so, she redefined what it means to build a sustainable artistic life in a highly visible and often demanding industry, navigating pressure, expectations, and the discipline of staying grounded. As Lucy Thomas moved further into her career, one of the most defining challenges she faced was not technical growth or public performance, but the sustained pressure of expectation that followed her from her earliest appearance. From the moment her voice reached national attention, audiences began to assign meaning to her future trajectory, often imagining outcomes far beyond what she herself had planned. This created a subtle but persistent tension between external expectation and internal intention. While the public saw a rising star destined for constant visibility and expansion, Lucy increasingly prioritized stability, vocal health, and emotional clarity. The discipline required to maintain that balance became a central part of her development as an artist. Unlike many performers who are quickly absorbed into fast-paced industry cycles, she chose a slower, more deliberate rhythm. This meant declining certain opportunities, limiting exposure, and focusing on refining her craft rather than expanding her public footprint. Such decisions were often misunderstood from the outside, interpreted as hesitation or withdrawal, when in reality they reflected careful management of long-term sustainability. The entertainment industry rarely rewards patience, yet Lucy's approach demonstrated that longevity often depends on precisely that quality. Her grounding also came from her immediate environment. Family support, especially the presence of her sister Martha and her mother Diana, played a stabilizing role in helping her maintain perspective. Their influence allowed her to remain connected to everyday life, preventing her identity from becoming entirely shaped by performance expectations. In this space, she could separate artistic ambition from public pressure, allowing her voice to develop without being overwhelmed by external noise. This period ultimately reinforced a key principle in her journey: that artistic strength is not only measured by output or recognition, but also by the ability to protect one's creative and emotional boundaries in a demanding environment. Reflection, continuity, and the quiet evolution of a lasting career. In the continuing arc of Lucy Thomas's career, what stands out most is not a single defining moment, but the steady evolution of an artist who has chosen consistency over spectacle. Her journey demonstrates that artistic identity does not need to be built through constant reinvention or public reinforcements. Instead, her path has been shaped by gradual refinement, personal reflection, and a commitment to authenticity in every stage of her development. Even as her audience expanded globally, she maintained a surprisingly grounded presence, allowing her work to remain the central focus rather than the surrounding attention. This continuity is evident in the way her music is received. Listeners often describe her performances not as performances in the traditional sense, but as emotional experiences that feel intimate and unforced. This quality has remained consistent across her evolving catalog, suggesting a deep alignment between her artistic values and her execution. Rather than chasing trends or adapting to shifting industry demands, she has maintained a clear identity rooted in sincerity and emotional clarity. At the same time, her journey reflects a broader commentary on modern fame. In an era where visibility is often equated with success, Lucy's career offers an alternative narrative, one where quiet growth, selective exposure, and personal well-being are prioritized over constant presence. This approach has not limited her reach. Instead, it has shaped a more enduring form of connection with her audience, one built on trust rather than novelty. Ultimately, her evolution remains ongoing rather than complete. Each new project, collaboration, or performance adds another layer to a career defined not by urgency, but by intention. In that sense, Lucy Thomas represents a rare kind of modern artist, one whose influence grows not through noise, but through continuity, care, and a sustained commitment to staying true to her own voice. Legacy of a quiet voice in a loud world. Lucy Thomas's legacy is shaped not by constant visibility, but by consistent emotional impact. From her earliest appearance on The Voice Kids UK to her later independent recordings, her career has been defined by restraint, sincerity, and gradual artistic development. In an entertainment environment often driven by rapid exposure and constant public engagement, her approach stands out for its patience and intentionality. She has demonstrated that artistic growth does not always require continuous visibility, and that stepping back can sometimes allow deeper creative evolution. Her influence extends beyond music charts or streaming numbers, reaching audiences who connect with her emotional honesty. Fans across different countries continue to engage with her work, translating lyrics and sharing interpretations that reflect personal experiences. Her presence in music culture represents an alternative path to success, one grounded in emotional authenticity rather than performance-driven fame. While her journey has included moments of pressure and uncertainty, it has also demonstrated resilience and self-awareness. Lucy Thomas remains an example of how young artists can navigate early recognition while preserving identity and artistic integrity. Her voice continues to resonate not because it demands attention, but because it invites reflection, offering listeners a sense of calm in contrast to the noise of modern entertainment culture. Final reflection on silence, strength, and becoming herself. The story of Lucy Thomas ultimately reflects a journey of balance between talent, expectation, and self-preservation. From a young teenager unexpectedly thrust into public attention to an artist carefully shaping her own path, her experiences reveal the complexities of early recognition in a digital and highly visible world. What began as a moment of televised discovery evolved into a long-term process of learning how to sustain both voice and identity. Her decision to step back from constant exposure was not a retreat from ambition, but a recalibration of purpose. Through periods of silence, she developed discipline, emotional understanding, and artistic clarity that would later define her work. Each stage of her journey contributed to a deeper understanding of what it means to be an artist in control of one's own direction. Rather than being defined solely by early success, she has continued to evolve at her own pace, choosing meaning over immediacy. Her story illustrates that growth is not always visible, and that some of the most important transformations happen away from public view. In the end, Lucy Thomas did not simply remain a talented voice discovered on television. She became a reminder that strength can exist quietly, and that a life in music can be shaped not only by applause, but by the decision to remain true to oneself.